KTOV News 4 is covering breaking news.
Today my heart aches for the men and women of the Baldwin Police Department and for the entire Baldwin community, the entire region, and the entire law enforcement family.
A Baldwin police officer is ambushed and shot. He's now fighting for his life.
Sky Zoo 4 was above the scene earlier today as that suspect was arrested following a pursuit. This is a story News 4 has been following for you all day. We have several crews gathering details because there were multiple scenes in this incident.
Take a look at this map to show you exactly where this unfolded. The Baldwin police officer was shot on New Baldwin Road just after 11 this morning. That suspect was later captured about 5 miles away near 141 and Burgundy Lane.
Tonight we have live team coverage of the breaking news. Our Lauren Posen is at the hospital where the officer is fighting for his life. Russell Kinsaw and Chris Negus are both in West St. Louis County.
But first, within the last hour, we learned much more about the suspect and his long criminal past. Courtney Bryant is in Clayton with those details. Courtney?
Steve, we've learned the suspect is 32-year-old Antonio Taylor. He has been charged with 3 felony counts, including assault on a law enforcement officer, armed criminal action, and unlawful possession of a firearm. He is in custody right now, set to be arraigned Monday morning. Prosecutors wouldn't speak on a motive. They say it's still unclear, but they are using the terminology that this was an ambush-style attack. St. Louis County Prosecutor Bob McCulloch addressed us less than an hour ago. Now, these charges will add to Taylor's long criminal history that spans several states. He was most recently on probation for weapons violations in the city of St. Louis. He served 30 months in prison for felony possession, but he was picked up again for violating his probation and served additional time and was released last spring. I asked prosecutors whether Taylor should have been released when he was.
Just about everyone who goes to prison comes back from prison at some point. He was given 30 months in the federal system and served 30 months and then an additional 15 months so for violating the provision. So at some point he was going to come back, and some people wake up and start to obey the law and some just don't.
Right now, that officer is in critical but stable condition. I did ask prosecutors what would happen with charges in case the officer doesn't pull through. He said that a homicide charge would almost definitely be added to those 3 existing felony charges. Now, he is, again, expected to be arraigned Monday morning. At that time, bond will likely be set at $500,000. Cash only. Now, for more details on how today's events unfolded, Chris Negus is live in Baldwin with more of those details. Chris.
Courtney, we're out here in front of the Baldwin Police Department. I showed you this at 5 o'clock. I want to show you again because it's a powerful image. You can see the flag back there. It was lowered today. In fact, the Baldwin police chief asked for that flag to be lowered because of what happened last night in Dallas. And now today, they're dealing with their own horrible situation. Let's talk about what transpired around 11 o'clock this morning. That's when a Baldwin officer pulled over a blue Ford Taurus. This was a routine stop, a speeding stop. Routine until the officer returned back to his vehicle after making contact with that suspect. The suspect, we are told, according to car camera video, ran up behind the officer, fired 3 times, and hit the officer at least once. It was a witness that called 911 because the officer could not. The suspect took off. He was arrested after a foot chase near 141 and Burgundy. So what we have tonight, a Baldwin police officer who, like so many officers throughout St. Louis and the nation for that matter, went to work today, but instead of going home, he's in a hospital fighting for his life. And maybe you've heard the St. Louis County Police Chief, John Belmar, say this already, but listen again as he describes the evidence and the reality of what unfolded on a suburban street in our community.
We feel like through the video cam in the car and the other evidence that we have with witnesses that this is a very strong case. I would tell you this also. Make no mistake, we believed during this investigation that Baldwin officer was ambushed, period. And that is an unfortunate state of events that we are dealing with right now.
The officer was rushed to Mercy Hospital. That's where that officer remains tonight. That's where we find News 4's Lauren Posen with the latest on his condition. Lauren.